So what's going on, guys? It's Cali Q here today, man. And yes, today's video was initially going to be my top 5 PS1 JRPGs of all time. But you know what? I thought because I'm always featuring JRPGs on this channel, I wanted to expand and broaden this video just a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and go my 10 favorite PS1 JRPGs and video games of all time. Now, these games help define and shape my PlayStation 1 gaming experience, and ultimately these games had a huge role to play in the gamer that I am today. So let's go ahead and jump into 10 of my favorite PlayStation 1 games of all time, and those games that have a sequel, I'm going to combine them all into one game, because if I didn't, this list would be super long. Alright, let's jump into the list, man. Now, starting off with a little bit of history of the PlayStation 1, it came out in 1995, and ironically, it still has some of the finest games in game design that I've seen to this day. And it also lasted until 2006, that's when the production officially stopped. But this was an era rampant with creativity, genre-defining experiences, and honestly, just pure fun and nostalgia. That's why I'm very excited to take you guys on this trip through my PlayStation 1 journey, man, because this system right here is kind of one of the systems that started it all for me. So we're going to be taking a look at a plethora of different genres, and I'm going all out on this video, man. Let's go into my top 10 right here. Now, keep in mind also, guys, this list is in no order, so there's just going to be 10 games listed. But as you can see here on the screen, we have to start off with the JRPGs first. I'm going to get these out the way. Chrono Cross for the PlayStation 1 system absolutely blew my mind when I first played this game. From its amazing stories, to its graphics, to its beautiful, groundbreaking music that still resonates with JRPG players until this day, Chrono Cross pretty much defined my love for JRPGs. Without this game, I do not know if I would love this genre that much, and that's me keeping it 100% real. Now, a lot of Chrono Trigger people are going to be shocked, and they don't really like when I say this, but I am a bigger Chrono Cross fan than I am of Trigger. It is what it is. All right, but Chrono Cross, absolutely, as a PlayStation 1 player back in the day, back in the 90s, this is what epitomized JRPGs in my opinion. I used to compare every single JRPG I played to this game right here. And to this day, it remains one of my favorite experiences that I haven't quite replicated in quite some time. But yeah, I gotta throw Chrono Cross on here for being the pioneer that it is in my gaming journey, in my gaming life. Next is my beloved Legend of Legaia that came out in 1998 for the PlayStation 1 system. Now, if you follow my channel, like I said, guys, this is familiar territory, so bear with me here. But you would know that I absolutely love this game right here. This game, on top of Chrono Cross, really helped define my JRPG experience. This game in particular, because it's a little lesser known than most of the other popular PS1 JRPGs, but its unique battle system, its cozy nature, and its overall heartfelt narrative just kept me coming back for more and more and more over the years. And I would love nothing more if Sony actually decided to remaster or bring back this game in some way, as Sony, last I heard, owned this series. But yeah, Legend of Legaia is definitely in my top 10 PS1 games of all time. Next, I'm going to keep this one nice and short as well, but Suikoden 1 and Suikoden 2. If you know the channel, you know how much I love this series. Rest in peace to Yoshitaka Murayama. This series right here, hands down, has some of the best narratives I've ever seen, some of the best character development, character dialogue. The stakes are high, the battle system is beautiful, the characters are amazing, over 108 characters to recruit and build an HQ and an army with, and it's just the nature of this story isn't necessarily about saving the world. It's about these warring nations, and these kids sort of swept up into this warring nation and end up becoming the alliance that is needed to unify the nation. That to me is one of the most epic plot pieces when it comes to a JRPG, because it's always about beating this god and saving the world. Not in Suikoden. In Suikoden, you're an army, you're an alliance, and you duke it out like any old school army or alliance type of game. And I love the Suikoden series for that. And I've primarily built my channel off of this series here. So Suikoden 1 and 2, I'm combining them. They are both in my top PS1 games of all time.
Who did you say was puny? And why are you guys wearing such stupid costumes?
Stupid costumes? Take that back, you little turd!
Please, princess, Sir Little Turd, calmeth down.
This next one, as you just saw here, is Brave Fencer Musashi that came out in 1998. Now, this game was a perfect blend of JRPG aspects and elements along with platforming all combined into one. This is what I meant when I said that the PlayStation 1 era was just defining so many different genres for me, as I got good platforming and JRPG out of this one title here. It also featured that awesome day and night system that I've still never seen too many games replicate as well as Brave Fencer Musashi did. This game had it all. That Saturday morning charm, comedy, good replayability, and just overall fun. Now, sometimes we're a little hard and frustrating, but this game was also challenging and rewarding. I still haven't really played anything quite like Brave Fencer Musashi, and it remains one of my favorite games of all time, and I would love to see it brought back someday. But if you've never played this game, do yourself a favor, go back into history and get your hands on Brave Fencer Musashi if you're looking for one of the most unique JRPG and just gaming experiences all together. I mean, I can't tell you guys how many hours I spent playing this game, trying to search every nook and cranny and seeing which secrets that I could unlock. This is a beautiful game, and I highly recommend you go in time and play Brave Fencer Musashi. Next, we have the legendary Spyro the Dragon by Insomniac Games, and this game also came out in 1998. I mean, now that I'm looking back, man, 1998 was a banger year for me personally when it came to the PlayStation 1 system. Now, I will admit I was about maybe 5 or 6 years old when all these bangers were dropping, but yes, ultimately I was there and I was playing these games as they were coming out. So to me, there was no way you could go wrong. Speaking of platformers, Spyro is probably my favorite platformer to this day that I've ever played. This game, this is what I meant by just genre defining experiences. Mixing 3D in with this platforming, flying, gliding, jumping, blowing fire. Spyro the Dragon has some of the best bosses I've played. It has some of the best music that I've heard as well, and I'm so glad that they actually did end up remaking these games, as I've played the remake as well, and I think it's phenomenal too. So this game has just a huge imprint when it comes to me and my gaming experiences, and I highly do recommend you guys either go play the originals or go get your hands on the remakes that came out not too long ago. All iterations of Spyro the Dragon still hold up extremely well, and this one, I'll go with Spyro 1 in particular, is one of my favorite PlayStation 1 games of all time. Next is the legendary Marvel vs. Capcom 1. Now, this game also came out in 1998, and my first experience of it was on the PlayStation 1 system. Man, this is literally the birthplace of my love and admiration for Marvel vs. Capcom as a whole. This game pretty much started it all. It combined some of my favorite characters from Capcom, including Mega Man and Ryu from Street Fighter, with some of my favorite superheroes of all time, like Captain America, Iron Man, and just everything you could think of. This game personified. It was all what I wanted at the time in one experience. And I'll never get over Marvel vs. Capcom 1 because it is the game that literally birthed my love for the Versus series. From the nostalgic music to the high fast action gameplay, Marvel vs. Capcom will always have a special place in my heart, and that's why I'm so excited that the Marvel vs. Capcom Legacy Collection is here and is Marvel baby, we are back. Now let's go ahead and calm things down a little bit and live a little bit of life with Harvest Moon Back to Nature. Came out in 1999 for the PlayStation 1 system. Now a lot of you guys might be shocked that this type of game is on my list, but I love me some slice of life / simulation game sometime, and Harvest Moon, this game right here, is the game that started it all. I wish these games were still currently good, but they're not as good as they used to be. We have story of seasons now, but yeah, Harvest Moon Back to Nature for the PlayStation 1 system. This was such a different genre for me, and it showed me how wide and vast the PlayStation 1's library could actually be. So I'll always have a soft spot for Harvest Moon. I don't care what nobody say about me. I love me some Harvest Moon Back to Nature, and this is still one of the best Harvest Moon experiences, and this genre was so different to me. I was like, wow, this system really can do it all. But yeah, I got Harvest Moon in here as well. Next, I gotta go with Tekken 3. This is the absolute epitome of Tekken to me. This is the best that Tekken ever has been. From its amazing quality of presentation to its great cast of characters and just to its overall vibe. This game is an entire vibe when it comes to the Tekken franchise, and to me personally, Tekken hasn't had this same aura ever since this game. I have spent so many hours playing with my cousins, my brothers, growing up and playing Tekken 3. This was the game that defined 3D fighting to me. This is what it meant to actually be a 3D fighter, and till this day, Tekken 3 is regarded as one of the greatest fighting games and games of all time. It was just that good. This is a case where I don't think you can say it was overrated because it was just absolutely amazing. The Tekkens before, Tekken 1 and 2, they were good in their own right, but this game right here is the one that did it for me. So I gotta have Tekken 3 on this list of my favorite PS1 games of all time. And now this is the part of the video where I go down that deep, dark Cali Q rabbit hole and tell you guys about games you may have never heard of for the PlayStation 1. I'm about to go all the way obscure. This is Team Buddies for the PlayStation 1 system, and this game came out in 2000 of September. Listen, this game is regarded as one of the rarest games on the PlayStation 1 system. Only a few copies were really produced, and the game sells for tons on eBay, with the price ranging all the way up from $2 to $3 and even $400, $500 for a sealed copy. That's how rare this game was. And I'll tell you guys my personal stories with Team Buddies. I found this game in a local supermarket for $5 at the time, and they had multiple copies, and it was in the bargain bin. And I picked it up as a kid and begged my mom if she could buy it for me, and it was only $5. Little did I know that this would become one of the most rarest and expensive games of all time. But as for the game itself, once again, this was a unique experience for me. This game has still left an imprint on me because of its buddy system, as hence the name. You basically build this team of 4 buddies, and each of you guys can be equipped with different weapons. It's like sort of an arena shooter or a platforming shooter, if you will, and you go against the other buddy teams of different colors. Now, if this game were to come out in today's age, in my opinion, it would be an absolute smash hit, especially with online play, communities, things like Discord and competitive play. Team Buddies would be one of the best games to resurrect and bring back from the dead. So I'll always continue to use my channel to big up Team Buddies. Team Buddies was actually one of the reasons I was inspired to start my channel, because I wanted more awareness and more people to know about this amazing, obscure PlayStation 1 title. But man, I spent countless hours battling my brothers and playing my friends on Team Buddies, and I just love the way that you could build these different weapons, build tanks, go to these different worlds, see different kind of buddies who had different kind of superpowers. Man, this game would be a hit if it came out today, and I highly recommend you go buy yourself a copy off eBay. Nah, don't do that, but definitely give Team Buddies a look. And this is my official Cali Q Games channel push to make Team Buddies a reality again. Come on, there gotta be a company out here who's willing to remake this game, and I'm telling you, you're gonna rake in the big bucks. But yeah, Team Buddies is a certified PlayStation 1 classic. I don't care what nobody say, it's in my top 10 games of all time. Next, I gotta talk about Bust a Groove. Bust a Groove is a rhythm game for the Sony PlayStation 1, released in 1998. The game was developed by Metro and published by Enix in Japan, 989 Studios in North America. Now, this was a rhythm game. Now guys, I know this is probably outside of some of you guys' genres, but this is perhaps the best rhythm game I have ever played. It also has some elements of like some action in it because you could use certain attacks to disrupt your opponent's flow, dance flow, and rhythm. This game has quite simply the best soundtrack of any PlayStation 1 game. Yes, I'm saying it. Maybe I might regret that statement, but it's up there. This soundtrack is up there. It has some absolute bangers that if they were to come out today, man, they would be certified 90s classics, or however you want to say it. Whatever you want to say, this game is kind of obscure. Not too many people know about it, but this game right here is phenomenal. It's just oozing with quality, and yes, it's different, but once again, this was proving to me how diverse this PlayStation 1 console was. I've went over farm simulation games, action games, fighting games, JRPGs, and now we're even at dance simulation rhythm games. But Buster Groove is a certified classic, man. And if any of you guys watching this video resonate with Buster Groove, let me know so I can tell how old you are. But yeah, Buster Groove is an absolute classic and one of my favorite PlayStation 1 games of all time. And rounding off my list of my favorite PS1 games of all time, you guys should have already known, but Mega Man Legends 1, Mega Man Legends 2, and including the Misadventures of Tron Bonne, which was the spin-off game of Mega Man Legends featuring Tron Bonne. These games quite simply shaped my entire childhood. Even to this day, I still am dreaming of a Mega Man Legends 3 that was unfortunately canceled, but I'm still waiting on the Mega Man Legends Legacy Collection because I've put it into words on this channel already. These were the games that defined my absolute PlayStation 1 experience. I mean, I went through so much to get these games as a kid, and they are still some of my favorite titles of all time. I mean, this is my favorite adventure game pretty much of any adventure game I've ever played. Mega Man Legends is those games for me, and I'm putting them all in one pile because they all are on an equal level to me. And without Mega Man Legends, I don't know if I would love the PS1 as much as I do. But Mega Man Legends, don't even need to say too many words. That's how much this game means to me, and I'd be absolutely ecstatic if this series were to come back in any capacity. So Capcom, go ahead and do your boy a favor and let's get them Mega Man Legends Legacy collections out, please. Please. And to finish this list off, I want to give honorable mentions to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, games like Rayman, games like Metal Gear, and games like even Tekken 2. These games aren't quite in my top 10, but they were phenomenal games for what they did, but they were also a part of my childhood, so I had to go ahead and throw some of those in here as well.
Hey man, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video, man. That was a trip down memory lane. I'm sure for a lot of my 90s kids, this was quite a joy for you to see. Let me know what your top 10 PS1 defining games are down in the comment section below. Don't forget, I did just make a Twitter, so please go follow us on there as well. And thank you for your support of the channel. While you're here, you might as well subscribe to one of the best communities on YouTube. All right, thank y'all for supporting the video, man. I will see y'all on the next one. Maybe that next one will be PlayStation 2 edition. Oh, that one is going to be super tough. God bless. Peace.